Chuck. Tingle. Chuck. Tingle. Chuck. Tingle. Chuck. Tingle.
Hello, I'm Fiona Bruce, and welcome to
the Chuck Tingle Book Club.
Oh, yeah.
Right, so welcome to the bit that no one likes. It's the Chuck Tingle podcast, book club. That's the one. And this week we read, actually, what's the actual correct title of this book? Quickly rewind. The Physical Manifestation of Washing My Hands Gets Me Off by twice Hugo finalist Chuck Tingle. And so basically, do you want a synopsis?
I mean, yeah, absolutely. It was interesting because this is like the first lesbian tingler we've done, and
everyone remembers their first fondly.
And and do you know what? I was wondering how that was going to play into anything, but it's a very similar energy.
Some might call it his style.
Some might, in fact. But yeah, go on, man. Give us the synopsis.
No, that's cool. So we have basically the scene opens with Cara and her friend Jill playing poker, absolutely dominating. And as leaving poker, Jill disappears to go wash her hands, and Cara can't quite get in her head why she's bothering to do that. Driving home, they pull into a takeaway burger drive thing and get a couple burgers. Fuck's sake, these notes are terrible, by the way. Sorry about this. Cara mocks Jill for having to wash her hands all the time, gets burgers, licks hands. See, I feel fine, says Cara before immediately projectile vomiting in the car. We fast forward to 2 weeks in the future where the doctor actually... Oh no, who is it who suggests how long to wash the hands for?
I don't think that anyone does suggest it in particular, but it's the suggestion that to wash your hands for the correct amount of time, you need to recite the title of the Chuck Tingle book.
I've got it.
Are you going for it?
Yeah, here we go.
Okay.
Pounded in the butt by my book, 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 pounded in the butt by my own butt.
Yeah, as a good time gate for washing hands,
which is much more fun than Happy Birthday, which is pointed out in the story as well.
God, and also doesn't make you want to die.
So yeah, fast forward again. Cara with Jill as well, goes to a restaurant to have some food, and Cara forgets again to wash hands, but Jill reminds Cara and says, like, don't feel bad about it. All we need to do is work out how you can remember. And Jill has a very, very specific idea of how she can help Cara remember by introducing her to the physical manifestation of washing hands, who is called Barlow.
Mm-hmm.
Barlow's going to show her a good time. So they leave to go back to Barlow's place, and immediately Cara begins projectile vomiting because, again, she's not washed her hands.
Yeah.
So again, fast forward again. We're in the doctor's office.
So it was 2 weeks. She was out of action 2 weeks for the first time she was ill. This time, because she was at home. This time she goes to hospital and they have her up and walking in like a week.
Yeah, the doctor gives her some hand sanitizer. It's just like, you've got to start washing your fucking hands, basically. At which point, the physical manifestation of washing hands, being in a hospital, is sort of the natural environment you will find her. She is there. And a lot of hospital fucking ensues. And some really strange, like, trying to imagine it in your hand. Like, okay, so this pair of hands that are covered in warm, soapy foam have a clitoris, but also she's hands. So in order to play with the other lady's bits, she's using these giant thigh-sized fingers.
Yeah, that Cara gets filled.
Yeah,
my favorite detail. My favorite detail is that the Barlow's pussy was on her left wrist.
Yeah, just so specific. It's like, well, thanks for that. Great. I'm still struggling here.
It was somehow it's easier to imagine someone fucking a night bus because with the penis of the bus protruding from the back of the inside of the vehicle. That I can see a lot easier than someone getting on with a giant pair of floating hands. Stopping dripping soapy wet hands, by the way.
This is true, but we'll get to comparing it to the other books shortly, I'm sure. Yeah, basically, Barlow brings Kara to the point of orgasm, at which point Barlow turns around and goes, "You know how long it takes," smiles, and then dives back in. She then considers singing Happy Birthday as she works on her clit, but then finally decides she has her own method, takes a deep breath and screams out, "Pounded in the butt by my book, pounded 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 in the butt by my own butt."
And it comes so hard, she astral projects.
Yeah,
as I recall, which I have some thoughts on.
See, I read that and kind of like, because I was in a bit of a rush, managed to skip that entire paragraph, like just by skimming it too quickly. And then the book reopens with, "Finally, I slam back into my physical form." And I go, what the fuck did I just miss? But yeah, that's pretty much it.
So I didn't prepare or quite finish preparing the essay I usually do for these bits.
We're pros.
And if like for this one, like it was. I mean, to be fair, like there was a lot I could have written. Actually, like I had a real difficulty kind of choosing like the important bits. This one could have, like the essay could have gone on and gone. But I don't have it prepared. Now, if that sounds like I'm preparing a bit to feed into some grander point of the essay, it's not. Some life is meaningless and sometimes shit just happens. So simple as that. What I'll try to do is reel off my thoughts off the top of my dome and see how we get on from there. So, like, the first thing I wanted to talk about is how usually Chuck Tingle has his way of wrapping complex social issues into his work, and he does it. He puts a lot of dressing on. Whether it's exploring the crisis of English identity through having sex with a pound coin, to analyzing and criticizing cultural
analyzing
and criticizing cultural integration in the form of fucking a vampire night bus. He will always fuck around to some point.
What did we learn from the unicorn butt cops?
So that was Everyone's Deserving of Love, and what was it in specific? It was
not judging a book by its cover, the colour of its skin.
Everyone is deserving of love, essentially, no matter where they are on the social ladder, no matter what they've done or who they are. Everyone deserves love.
Unicorn or Velociraptor. We're all equal.
Exactly that.
Love. Right. Okay.
So this one, like, as much as Chuck's always going to fuck around, with this book, Chuck's really not fucking around. The gloves are off because that's the best way to wash your hands, obviously. So obviously, like, given the context in which this has been released, it's very obvious that it is about COVID-19. There is, not only is the context of its release, but there's also like the coding that's used. For instance, the pounding in the butt thing to kind of judge washing your hands is directly referencing official advice to sing Happy Birthday, which we've also already spoken about. Like, the coding is there. This is COVID-19, while not actually being a perfect simulacrum, because to be fair, a disease that hits fast and vomits it reads a lot better in a 4,000 word bit of short fiction. And also because he's focusing solely on washing hands, like that's all he needs. If he wanted to make it COVID-19 properly, then that comes with a whole bunch of other shit that really you don't have the space for, and
it comes with a lot of baggage, and it's a lot of dark baggage.
And it's just this one thing he wants to say about washing hands in particular. Now, I found it quite interesting, the way in which he goes about it. And like, this is kind of outlined in like the very first sentence. it's hard to take an objective look at your habits until someone else does it for you. With that, like, you already know that this is not attack. This is not coming from a place of judgment. Chuck might as well just be going, you bunch of stupid, squishy humans. I know you're all idiots, but hey, so are we all. We fuck up on some things. But, you know, that doesn't mean we can't get better. You know, everything, he does is kind of, there is no attack in this whatsoever. He's never going to fucking wash your hands. Kara is permanently, constantly human about the thing. Like, a good example of like, the way he kind of tries to make us feel better about this is, you know, again, in the first passages, Kara talks about, always thinking that you had to use your fingernails to pry, the gas lid off of a car in order to fill up, without realizing that there was a button under her seat that did it. You know, it's small oversights, that can kind of
I've never had a car like that, by the way. That I went and checked my car.
I guess it must be an American thing. I don't know. It's just, yeah. So like Kara is very human the entire way. Like there's, this is not easy going as off the cuff as I thought it would be. So she keeps making mistakes, and there are like allusions are made constantly throughout. There's a line like when she first goes back into the world after her first bout of sickness, it's just saying, you know, trying to maintain a healthy lifestyle and healthy habits is a lot more difficult than I expected. Something along those lines. And sure enough, she gets ill again. I also found it interesting, like the name Kara, so Kara in Italian is dearest one. In Gaelic, it's friend. In Hebrew, it means to read or proclaim. So like what Chuck's actually doing here is saying, you, my friends, I'm making a proclamation to you as my dearest one, is a reading of it. And that's why like Kara just makes mistakes and slowly learns the hard way after getting sick a couple of times. And this is like approaching a very important issue, that of personal hygiene, washing your hands to like reduce the spread of, of the virus, rather than doing it with like the fury and vitriol that you see with people. Like I've seen a lot of, social media attack pieces of people just going, I've just been out for a walk and there were some people sunbathing outside. And it's just like, yeah, but they're doing it meters apart. That's absolutely within guidelines. You know, going at it with hellfire and fury is never going to win hearts and minds. So like Chuck's coming at it in typical Chuck fashion with, through love and understanding, but also through gentle insistence. There's the constant reminders that like, you know, Kara keeps fucking up and she gets ill again. You know, so that's the approach she's taken. The meaning, that he demonstrates. So the first thing I really liked was, Jill, the Kara's best friend. It's a little on the nose, but Jill in the, nursery rhyme is literally, the one who comes tumbling after. This is like, if Kara's going to get ill, Jill is going to be the first one to contract it. You know, she is like, in this scenario, Kara's Jack. Jill, comes tumbling after, which I quite liked. Barlow, this was a bit tricky, but essentially it's a surname, that kind of, translates to Bear Hill. I guess as a reference to there being no living beings on these washed hands. Either that, or there is some very deep, reference that I simply could not find.
Yeah, I was trying to make a connection with Boyzone, but this is a lesbian book, so I don't think that's it. Yeah,
that was the other thing. Like, Barlow's also quite a male name. In fact, it is like, when it's used as a first name, it's exclusively male. So there was an interesting choice, and I assume it's either got to be the Bear Hill play, or there's a reference. My first thought was, maybe that's the name of the first Doctor who started popularizing the washing of hands with carbolic acids, because he realized when he did that, you know, mothers and children at birth died a hell of a lot less But it turns out that wasn't that. He has a very, very Eastern European name, and I can't remember it off the top of my head.
Vlad.
What I did like, there were 2 points that I can just bring to mind. What I did like is, when Kara first goes to walk off with, Barlow, there's a moment of, like her friends all gossiping and sort of winking and at her. And I liked this was like a nice little subtle nod that, you know, this is approval from the people and you just doing this one base, like, Kara essentially going off to wash her hands and her friends are excited for her. It's like, yes, cool. You're thinking about us a little more, which I felt was backed up, by the fact that Kara came so hard. She astral projected. That was a real moment of, realizing that washing her hands, wasn't just about her. The fact she moved outside of her body was, I thought, deeply representative of the fact that it had, you know, it meant something important to her environment as well. And that's about all the fucking thing I can remember off the top of my head. There was more. There was a dumb point, and there was an interesting line about genital to body part slip and slide action, but that's it.
I thought you might get that.
I hope that wasn't. Well, I mean, it's always painful. Let's face it. But
kind of like painful as Kara found it to say goodbye.
She did, but you know, as Barlow pointed out, like everyone deserves to be visited by her. Everyone deserves to wash their hands. So I mean, it was a sweet moment. But also that was like the final point, wasn't it? Is again to round off the insistence of the piece, the gentle insistence. Barlow leaves, going, "But you'll see me again in the future." After every time you go to the toilet and before every meal. And just kind of like, just popping another little thing in there. Just go, yeah, come on, guys. Don't forget to wash your hands, whatever happens.
Which I feel erotica is exactly where that message should be. Be an adult, wash your hands.
Best place for it. It's got to be said.
We should start handing out to school kids, I think. Teach them.
We should. Yeah. So, Tom, rather than picking another one of the COVID ones, because I think they're all going to be pretty clear cut after reading this one, should we go back to what we were doing before? And I believe it's the second book that follows Vampire Night Bus Pounds My Butt, which
can do. Do you not think it's timely to do the ones?
I would be more interested to have a look at them again when I'm not actually in the context in which they're released.
Is it too real for you?
No, I mean, I think I'd like, I don't, it's maybe, essentially, like, it's difficult to, like, achieve any sort of objectivity when you're in the midst of the fucking thing that it's about. So instead, should we just kind of crack on with Space Raptor Butt Invasion?
Yeah, absolutely. But we still need to score this book we just read.
Oh, yeah, of course.
So I think I see him coming now. Hang on. I think I see him coming now. Hang on. He is coming.
Greetings, horny human. I am the Tingletron 4000 book review scoreboard. All scores are final. Hang on. Got to turn it off now. Hang on.
There we go. So,
do you know what?
We are going. Sorry, go on.
Yeah, I think I might actually prefer it with the voice you just do by yourself, to be honest.
Yeah, fair enough. So thanks, Tingletron, for that. Get out. So we're going to pump some numbers into Tingletron, and then he's going to go 4 and give us a score. So we're looking at the cover art, the pacing, the sexiness, the value for money, and a reviewer's tilt at the end. So first things first, the cover art, which you will have to go to the website to view.
Yeah, hang on.
Okay, so again, this book could be found if you are now, oh, fuck's sake, the pub Wi-Fi blocks fucking Chuck Tingle's website. It's so annoying.
Okay, now let's talk about our sponsor.
So, I mean, I've got a copy of it here. It is a reasonably attractive lady in sort of block black lingerie, long straightened dark hair, and librarian glasses.
Just a pair of glasses.
Oh, it could just be a pair of glasses. That might be just me putting my own spin on it.
I'm more interested in what's to her side there.
To her right,
or to the right-hand side.
Barlow is actually kind of... Is that Megan Fox? No. But it's a very, like, Megan Fox archetype face. No, that's not. That's kind of closer to, what's her name? Scarlett Johansson as a face on a pair of hands that are washing themselves. And I must say, they're washing themselves in a very, very thrilling manner.
But it is not arousing. I'm going to say that. It's not also... It is in keeping with what... I imagine the hand... For some reason, I imagine the face would be on the palm of the hand. I don't know why.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's a concession made just to show a pair of hands washing.
How?
Heather's trying to recreate the hands, like the shape of the hands doing the actual washing.
It's not It's not possible.
There is definitely 3 hands in that.
Yeah. Because
no.
You've got the thumb there.
Yeah.
And that's like there, and then that thumb there with the...
Oh, no.
I can't make my... No, because look, that's the little finger, isn't it? That's not the thumb. So it's like that way, and then like that. But
it's certainly mangled.
I can't do it. I can't make it happen. It doesn't happen.
Yeah, I can't get my thumb in the right place.
Yeah. Because the thumb's like past the pinky, but you can't make your thumb past the pinky like that. Then also have it cupped, you're like twisting my whole body around. There's definitely
no, I've done it.
Oh, yeah.
I have done it.
How?
Yeah. Unfortunately, you can't see it. Basically, you put one hand on the back of the other hand, and then with your thumb at the bottom. It is a little bit awkward, but it might be mid-wash, which is fine.
Oh, hang on. I think I...
Oh, yeah.
But anyway,
the thumb's not
audio medium.
Yeah,
so,
sorry.
It could also be a mirrored image as well,
and also one hand Photoshop just on another hand to look like it's washing.
I'm going to give it, I like the weirdly, there's something minimalist about the color scheme in this that I actually genuinely really appreciate. It's basically black and white. The girl is very pale. And it's only Barlow that kind of really provides any colour, which makes it stand out more. So actually, where I was going to give this a 3, I think just for aesthetics alone, I might bump it to a 4, Tom.
I'm happy with a 4.
Yeah?
That's fine. I mean, I'm going to say 3.5 actually, because that hand photoshopped onto that, they haven't even skin matched. Like, it's really badly photoshopped.
Oh, yeah, there comes a point, like, if we're going to do, like, 0.5 scores, why aren't we just doing a 10-point system?
Tingletron does not work with 10 points. He does, however, work with 0.5s.
He does under sentiment. It's,
all right, 4, fine.
Yeah.
Fine.
Yeah.
All right.
That's what I like.
So getting to the tingle, the pacing, what have we got? I think...
2?
No, I'm going to say the comic pacing is very good.
Ooh.
That projectile vomiting at the burger, that I actually laughed out loud at that. That was the idea that she's looking at her friend, like giving a knowing wink and a smile, licking her hand, and then going, "See, I feel fine."
Yeah, absolutely. What was it? It was oh god, I can't remember the word I used for it. Damn.
Slapstick.
It was slapstick for sure. Vompocalypse, was that the thing? I can't remember. Like I said, I got halfway through writing the actual thing.
But the fact that
the actual Tingle
they pull
itself,
the same joke twice as well.
Yes,
I really like the pacing of this book.
Yeah. And also, like, because it's happened once, you kind of don't see it coming the second time. Because you think, like, she's with the manifestation now. It's boning time. And also, like, you got to be as safe as possible. But then she's just walking away, going, like, with the friends, like, clapping and cheering, going, yeah, in the background. Then just, blah. It was a surprise, actually.
So what are we going to say? 3 or 4?
I mean, my instinct was to go with a 2, but if you're thinking up to 4, maybe 3.
Okay, giving you the tingle, the sexiness. Now, this is where my point of it was really hard to imagine what was going on. Because all I had in my head was a woman riding a giant finger.
Yeah, it was a weird one. But not without, like, I mean, I would give it a 1, but Chuck actually did a reasonable amount of, a pretty good job building the tension between Barlow and Kara. Which that was perhaps the sexiest part of it. Like, when it actually got to the fucking, it was, weird. But I understood. Yeah, I'm thinking 2.
Yeah, I'm thinking a 2 too. Desmond, it is. Right. Then we got value. So saving you some tingle. The thing's free.
5. Yeah, absolutely.
Although
it's free.
He does ask if to donate. So I think that's even more a 5, in my opinion.
Absolutely. Can you break your scoring system in any way? Because now's the time to do it.
Yes, so now's the tingle tilt. So currently we're sitting at 5.6, which is equal to Vampire Night Bus. I'm going to say the fact that it pulled the same joke twice, that's the thing I was well impressed with.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I really enjoyed this book. I think it's a good read. Do I think it's the most amazing thing he's ever written? Not that I've read, but
no, not at all. But I think it's good middle ground, and also like the way he's kind of trying to make a very serious point, but doing it in a very understanding way, and like not having a go at the reader was actually pretty fucking well done. Again, like for that, I wish I'd sort of could finished the essay to really lie that all out for you. But yeah, no, that was very good. But 4, I'm thinking
4.
Yeah,
4's fine by me.
Mm-hmm.
Right, we have our final 4 score. Tingle has 4'd it all out, and we have a 7.2.
Ah, okay. So where does that put it?
Which brings it in 4th position. So it's Pounded by the Pound and Unicorn Butt Cops are both in 1st position at 8 points.
I still can't believe
Monday pounds me. Monday pounds me by the butt at 7.6, and then Hand Washing one 7.2.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Well,
all done.
What's the exit on this?
So next week we're going to be reading what then?
Sorry, let me just bring it back up.
Are we going to go back to the other one? Yeah.
Invasion. That was in Vampire Night Bus. It was the second book in Vampire Night Bus. Pounds by butt.
That's right. So if you've already bought Vampire Night Butt, Pounds Me in the Butt, you already have.
Which,
the book,
if you're listening to this, of course you have. Of course you have. Everyone wants a piece of the book club.
Otherwise, pick it up on Amazon. It'll be practically free anyway. And of course, if you have read any of Chuck Tingle's stuff, maybe go donate to the charities that he highlighted for the COVID epidemic. Anyway.
Back to the show. 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 Back to the